Great evening to you, wonderful people. Welcome inside the Black Star Project, broadcasting from the Xfinity Studios at WVON Radio 1690, the talk of Chicago. My name is Herb Howard, my brilliant, equally parts brilliant and beautiful co host, Miss Juliet Scott. Thank you also very, very much for choosing to tune into the conversation. We got a special show for you guys today. It is our end of session celebration, our end of semester, if you will, wrapping up our service programs and celebrating with our youth, our participants, our families, our parents, and of course, our directors and our staff here at the Black Star Project. And so as we celebrate those things, we thought it would be a really, really cool idea to kind of just talk to the people who actually make the Black Star Project what it is. Juliet and I get the absolute pleasure of bringing that information and those stories to you on a weekly basis, but there are so many people on the front lines and behind the scenes, some of who you see all the time at the Black Star Project, some of whom you may never see at the Black Star Project, but all of whom are absolutely instrumental to the work that we are able to do. And so over the course of today's show, you'll get a chance to hear from some of those people, hear what they do, and find out why the Black Star Project is now approaching 30 years of service. So without any further ado, we must absolutely start with the executive director of the Black Star Project, Miss Gloria Smith.
Yes,
Hey, Miss
yes.
Gloria, how are you?
I am well. Thank you for having me tonight.
It is an absolute, absolute pleasure. First of all, for those of you who do not know, Miss Gloria is the sister of our fearless leader, the late, great Philip Jackson. Miss Gloria, I don't know if it was ever your intention to, at some point, lead and
Mm,
direct the Black Star Project. What was that transition like for you to kind of step into that purpose and that path?
okay. So, as you probably know, I have been involved with the project since the
Oh,
beginning,
I know.
since
Since literally
1996
the
when we
inception.
started.
Absolutely.
Exactly, exactly. So, just happy to be able to continue the work after Philip's passing in 2018. It's been
Hmm.
what, eight,
Wow.
9, 10 years? But
Wow.
only able to do it with the help of an amazing group of young people who
Yes.
show up and just, help me to, keep his legacy alive and keep some of the great work that he started going. So tonight, we are honoring here at Black Star several programs. This is our closing day celebration
Hmm.
for several of the programs,
Hmm.
including something that we call the Philip Jackson Youth Development Program. We named
Absolutely.
that after Philip.
Absolutely.
And it's a mentoring program. We have college students who come in and interact with middle school and high school students. And so they meet every Friday. And so they've been doing that. This is the spring semester,
Hmm.
and we'll be going into the summer soon. I'll talk a little bit about the summer. So the Philip Jackson Youth Development Program is on Fridays. Tonight we are also honoring the Young Black Men of Honor. And this was something that was near and dear to Philip's heart, and you probably
Yes.
remember
Absolutely.
um, how men used to just come to Black Star,
Always.
adult men to.
What I remember about the men and how they were drawn to the Black Star Project, as much as I remember it, locally, as much as I remember men just walking in here, um,
Yes.
taking part in some of our events and our activations and our community service events, the thing that sticks out to me the most
Mm-hmm.
is the massive amounts of letters from
Mm.
incarcerated men
Yes.
around the country that would pour in and either merely say thank you to Philip Jackson or ask his advice, and sometimes, but most rarely, ask for his help. But they just
Yeah.
wanted to kind of be around or say, I understood, the work that you're doing or
Mm.
the things you tried to do for me, or I appreciate the things that you are still doing for me.
Mm.
And I remember, seeing the amount of those letters that came in, and it was just
Yes.
kind of startling.
Yeah.
And so,
We have those
mhm,
stack of letters,
yes,
And Philip tried to answer each
I know he
one
did.
individually. And not only did he answer the letters, but he also would sometimes send them a book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he would
Mm-hmm.
reach out to our brother Haki
Yes, Matabuti,
Matabuti,
yes, sir.
yeah, at Third
Shout out
World
to him.
Press, and have boxes of books sent to Black Star, and he would send them all over the country.
Yeah,
Wow.
educate or die, right?
Yeah, educate or die. And, you know, he was very close to Michelle Alexander, and you know that was her
Absolutely,
thing to,
absolutely.
you know, try to address the issues around mass incarceration.
So, how have you found it to be? How have you found yourself and the entire team able to deal with the ever-changing climate
Mm,
of Chicago, of the country, of serving the community in such tumultuous times
hmm
where the average person is overwhelmed
hmm
by their day-to-day struggle to survive,
Yeah.
while the climate around them rapidly changes, usually not for the better. And
Yeah.
the Black Star Project continues to stand in that space and hold space to mentor, to educate, to support
Yeah.
um, children and parents.
You know, that's a great question. And I think you know that Philip and I, you know, come from a family of activists, social
Absolutely,
justice activists. Our uncle,
absolutely.
you know, is Dr. Vincent Harding. And you know that he was the author or drafted Martin Luther King's Beyond
Yes,
Vietnam
ma'am.
speech
Yes, ma'am.
that was given April 4th at Riverside Church. And I just want to share that this past April 4th, I was invited to go to Riverside Church to represent the family. And um, Michelle was there. Michelle Alexander
Mm-hmm.
was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just good to see her, you know. And so it just makes me know that
That's full circle.
there's a lot going on in this country, but there's always hope.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just remember that. And that's what we try to impart, you know, to the young people that we come in contact with.
Well, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to, talk to you too much, and then you get upset with me because I know this
Uh-oh.
isn't your preferred method of service or the attention and all that. So I'll close it up with this. Um, as the team around the Black Star Project, continues to do the work, what are you most proud of the individuals and
Hmm.
also of the collective?
Okay, so first of all, I am so proud of the young people
Yes, first,
because,
always.
you know, we had
Can you
some who,
believe how old the triplets are?
I know the triplets started with us in what, first, second grade, and
It's
now are in their first, going into their
yes,
second year
yes.
in college. And so, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that makes me very proud, very happy to know that, yeah, there's a lot going on in this country, but we are in good hands because
Absolutely,
there are a lot of young people who, um, you know, are going to make sure
absolutely,
that this work continues.
absolutely.
Um, Again, I'm so proud of the team who support me. You know, as I get older, I just, you know, I'm here as an elder, but these young people have stepped up in ways that I can't, you know, even begin to explain or thank, including you and Juliet,
Yes, ma'am.
who keep this, you know, Saturday radio show going. So I just want to thank you for that.
It's an
But
honor to serve.
my thanks to Cortez, who's our director of programs,
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay, who
Oh,
manages our social media.
Lindsay does
Pam
so many
is,
things.
yeah, is our, you know, just admin person extraordinaire, and she takes care of all of, you know, the details of all the events that we do. We have Juneteenth coming up on June 20th. We're
Yes,
inviting
ma'am.
everybody to come to Bronzeville on June 20th.
It is always so tough when people, you know, are introduced to the Black Star Project, or they come around, they're
Mm-hmm.
outsiders, and they're like, well, what do you do at the project?
Mm-hmm.
Or what does this person do? Or what's their
Yeah.
position? Or what's that position like? Position?
Yeah.
Uh,
If you come through that door, we're gonna find some
Like we
work
could,
for you. Like
we
Sel Dunlap,
absolutely.
everybody
Like
who's a part of the community.
we could define positions, you know, if
Mm,
we absolutely have to, and sure we can have them, but really everybody here
yeah.
does, you know, what's necessary.
Deacon Price, who's been with us
Uh,
almost 20 years. Coach
we're
Q,
gonna hear from him a little bit later, Deacon
yeah,
Price. So
just on and on and on.
yeah,
And so, yeah, thank you. Thank you for, helping us to, continue this work. As you said, this is our 30th anniversary. We're going to do something, not sure what,
mm-hmm,
it will look like,
mm-hmm,
but want all of Chicago to be a part of
absolutely,
what we do
because the Black Star Project is a
yeah,
part of all of Chicago.
everybody has a Philip Jackson story.
Oh, I would tell him all the time, um, because he would take me everywhere with him, and I would stand with him, and I would tell him, can I go stand over there? Because I am
Mm-hmm.
tired of shaking everybody's hands, because everybody not only knows him, but they revere him. There's a level of respect. So they come up to him, they say hello, and they say thank you. And he's like, well, this is Herb, and I want you to
Mm-hmm.
know him because this, that. And it's like, hey, Mr. Jackson, I've shaken 200 hands in like 30 minutes. Can I just go over there?
Yes, no.
Everybody has a Philip Jackson story, and it's just,
He was always, always building community
yes,
and building what I like to call a network of hope.
yes, yes. And they persist in
Yes,
large part thanks to you,
yes.
Miss Gloria.
Well, we all have work to do.
And we continue to do it. That is the executive director of the Black Star Project. Her name is Miss Gloria Smith. Miss Gloria, thank you so very, very much.
Welcome. Thank you, Herb.
Thank you. Now, got the good brother Cortez here, director of program and evaluation here. What's it mean to you to be celebrating on a night like this?
It definitely means a lot. I appreciate our executive director, Mama Gloria, for
Absolutely.
building this role up the way that she has and for entrusting me with not just our programs, but also taking our programs to another level and making sure that they are evaluatable. I'm really, I'm really grateful
Ready
for
for
that.
me?
I also, um, I, I also appreciate this because our young people have put in an incredible amount of work. Um, they partner with parents and they partner with staff to see the programs come back to that remarkable reality that Mr. Jackson left here. So I'm really excited to celebrate for all those different reasons, so many more.
Sounds wonderful as we celebrate tonight. And we look forward to the future as well. What do you see the next age? Are we refining? Are we expanding? Are we pivoting?
Absolutely. One of the things that I was sharing with the management team, it's in one of my favorite research books called Strategic Organization Development. There's a
Mm-hmm.
black scholar who knew Mr. Philip Jackson. His name is Dr. Philip Anderson, and he has a chapter in the Strategic Organization Design book that talks about early life cycles of organizations, midlife cycles of
Yeah,
organizations, and mature life cycles of organizations. So I feel, and in
I
the
love the energy in the background too.
exactly in the early category, he talks about how healthy organizations' behaviors reflect the vision of its founder. Midlife organizations' behaviors do an assessment of that vision
Sure.
and keep the things that work well and pivot and assess the things that don't work well so that there can be room for growth. So that's where I feel like we at. And that's not me coming from a place of rhetorical conjecture. That's coming from reading that research and saying, oh, that's where we're at.
Sure.
So Mr.
Sure.
Jackson left a lot of real good soil.
Mm-hmm.
And now me and my fellow directors, Michael, Mama Ann, Lindsay, we're starting to put seeds into that fresh soil he left us.
Yeah.
So we're not pivoting as much as we are growing in the soil that he left, if you can understand the metaphor.
No, it's a wonderful space that we are in, brother. We appreciate your work that you have done and continue to do. We certainly look forward to the work that you're about to do. Appreciate you, Cortez.
Thank you for your brotherhood, man, and thank you for all you do at Black Star.
Oh, man, it's what we call to do. It's a pleasure to serve always, man. Gonna get back in here and listen to some of the young people as they celebrate.
Absolutely.
I'm Willie Coleman. I'm one of the instructors for the social science class, and this is.
I am Zaid McClellan. I am the instructor for our social science class.
And we focused on prominent Black figures this quarter in building communities and what is a community to each of us. So every week we had, assignments have, excuse me, with our students basically building their own communities. So at the end of each week, me and Zaid, we had just come together. We like, man, what can we do to just bring this all together? So we both decided on having like a mayor election amongst the groups. And one thing we did was have the young ones create a little speech, basically saying why they should be the mayor.
Yeah. This originated from wanting them to understand sort of what it takes to be able to run your own community, how to be of service to people within your community that you serve. Uh, One of the figures that we highlighted this semester was Mayor Harold Washington, and so that particular week is how this came about.
Mhm.
So we are happy to present this to you. I'm sure the students are as well. So without further ado, our first student, who do you want to bring up
The
first?
first person we're gonna bring up today is the best ever, Michelle.
I'm Michelle, and this is my mayor speech. If you vote for me as mayor, I will give you the community and city you deserve. I will open shops for you to work at and donate to charity. I will make sure that people are off the streets. I will help make homes for people. And that is why you should vote me for mayor.
Jordan.
Jordan Larnell Brooks. I'm I'm going to be a good mayor because I will stop violence. I will I will make food for homeless. I will give the government money so he can equally split it and give it to the homeless. They are they are best I am the best mayor because I will help them off the streets and I will stop violence, and violence is not good for people.
Um, Typically, we would choose a mayor, but today we are going to elect two mayors, and so both of you all will be mayor elect.
Quiet ones in the group. But out of the group that he was in, he was elected mayor. His speech was authentic, genuine, and relatable. So everybody get Cortez another hand. Man. Good job.
I am proud of all of my students. Mr. Willie and I are both proud of all of our students. Um, Great job this semester, guys. Truly proud. So give it up for yourself.
So we just got done hearing from the young scholars giving their mayoral speeches for what they were doing. It was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they addressed a lot of the things that we hear, mayoral candidates address, talk about homelessness, talk about violence, like all the things that really need to be addressed in the city. I think they did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
Felicia, please introduce yourself to our listening audience and what you appreciate most about your work here at the Black Star Project.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Felicia Chapman. I'm the program coordinator for the Philip Jackson Freedom School. What I appreciate most, what I appreciate most about working with the Black Star Project is the openness. They came to me with the position to become the coordinator for the program, and they had a curriculum laid out, and I just matched my plan to their curriculum, and it was very accepting, and that's what I like most about it.
That tends to be how it goes. I've told the story before on the radio show, but my introduction to the Black Star Project was very inconspicuous. um, I was doing some work after the second Million Man March, and we had all these different Justice or Else chapters across the country. And I was doing some work with the Chicago chapter, and we were meeting at Mosque Mariam on 73rd and Stony Island, and that's where I met Mr. Philip Jackson.
Okay.
And so as we were doing our work, one day he just invited me onto the radio show that he was hosting. And so he's like, just come on, let's talk about the work that we're doing. And I was like, sure thing. So I came up to WVON. At the time, the station was on 87th Street, right down the street from where the rink is.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I came and we had a good conversation about the work that we were doing at the time. And so we got done with the show, and he was like, we didn't really get enough into it. You should come back next week so we can continue the conversation. And I was like, no problem, sure thing. Came back the next week, oblivious to the fact that he's like grooming me to take over this show, right? And then one day he's like, I'm not gonna be able to make it to the show, but just go up there and do it. And I've been hosting and coasting the show for about 10 years now. So that's just how it kind of goes with the Black Star Project. You just show up like, okay, I'm willing to help. It's like, okay, well, do this, and then you just be doing stuff.
I showed up with a notebook.
How it is.
So I showed up with a notebook, like, okay, I like the program that you have going on, but here's some, improvements, adjustments that can be made, and that'll help it grow. And they looking at me like, oh, okay, well, since you do.
Yeah, exactly how it goes. He did the same thing with Juliet Scott, my co-host. He was like, she's gonna join us on the show tonight, and she joined us. And then he was like, yeah, y'all two just go next week, and this has been me and her. So that's just how it goes around here. What would you say to the listening audience about the importance of just getting involved in whatever way they see fit in terms of community service and community development, whether that's mentorship, whether it's economics, whether it's housing, but whatever they see fit? How important is that, and how would you encourage people to get involved?
Man, I can go on.
We got to.
I can go on with this. Getting involved, there's nothing like community. To me, that's showing up in any small way. Like with your children.
Yep.
Just start showing up at their school. Eventually they're gonna be like, oh, since you're doing this, come on in and do this too. And from there, engage with your fellow parents. Pull them in. When it comes to community, anything you see, where there's a need, figure out how to fill it.
Anytime there's a problem, there's an opportunity.
There's an opportunity. Like with here, I just started showing up, and then I started giving my opinion, and then
yeah. Next, no good deed goes unpunished around here. You got an idea? Okay, get to work on it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Kind of how we do things. Felicia, I'm grateful for your work. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you have brought to the Black Star Project family.
Thank
your
you.
Passion, your energy, your knowledge, your intelligence, your love for the people. So thank you.
Thank you
So very, very much. And thank you for your time and being on the show tonight.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Now, I finally caught up with you, Miss Lindsay. You've been ducking me all night. You like to do all of the things around here. You literally have your hand in every single thing that goes on around here. If nobody knows what's going on with the thing, everybody's always like, ask Lindsay. And it's because Lindsay always knows. So thank you for your work, but thank you for taking the time. How are you, first of all?
Doing well, enjoying this nice evening, finally getting some nice weather, no rain, so can't complain.
Wonderful. Lindsay, in your time with the Black Star Project, what has your service meant to you, and what has Black Star meant to you in return?
Absolutely, that is a great question. Black Star, for me, it's been sort of a saving grace. I had just moved to Chicago, have never been here.
I'm going to Philly in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. You'll have to have a cheesesteak.
Oh, you already know. I love Jim's. That's my favorite joint.
Oh, Jim's is good. As long as you don't say Pat's or Geno's.
No, not definitely not Pastor Gino's. Both of those are awful. Ishkabibble's is okay. Um, DJ Moore, who used to play for the Bears,
Mm-hmm.
he tells me that his favorite spot is. Dang, I done brought him up and I forgot the name of the place. I think Delasoro or something like that.
Delisandro's, I love it. You need to go there.
Yeah.
You need to go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
definitely
plan to
check
hit
it out.
that. I love Philly. I've been there several times, but I haven't been to Delisandro's. And I would always joke with DJ when he was playing for the Bears, like, I like gyms on South and Fourth.
Mm.
And he's like, gym's cool, but you got to go to Delisandro's. So
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I hit it this time.
Yeah, you're going to have to let me know what you think.
For sure.
Good.
For sure. So the celebration tonight, culmination of the latest sessions, semesters, if you will, of service, of programming. How did it all come together, and what do you think of the celebration this evening?
Yeah, that's a great question. The Black Star Project, we are a very, very small team that does a lot with very little.
Mm-hmm. If you want to join the team, feel free to do so. Give us a call. The telephone number here is 773-285-9600. You can also email us at communityinfo@blackstar.org.
Yes.
Please sign up. We need you to become a member. We need you as a volunteer. We need the donations. The work is necessary, but it is also expensive.
Yes, absolutely. So we need all of the help that we can get. Yes. So yeah, we're a very small team. Just trying to make it happen. We run 4 programs during the school year. So not only do we have this celebration, which is for 3 of our programs, but we have another celebration tomorrow out in Maywood on top of
Westside.
All of our community events. So far, we've had Daddy Daughter Dance, which happens in February. We have Mass Male Graduation that happened last week. We have Juneteenth coming up. It's also our 30th anniversary.
30 years.
Yes, a huge accomplishment. So we're looking forward to that. More to come. But yeah, just one thing that I love about Black Star is that we all just do whatever we can. We might have titles, kind of not have
Sure,
titles,
right?
but at the end of the day, the work has to get done.
Everybody does everything from design curriculum to lead programming to taking out the trash. Like, everybody does everything. So that's what I try to tell people about the Black Star projects. Like, you come in and you get involved, and we assure you that there is a task for you. There's something for you to do here, and so
we will find something for you.
Absolutely. And don't you dare come up with an idea, because we would just back that and push you further into, like, go for it, do that.
Yeah.
Like, let's go build upon
Let's see
that.
what this looks like.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly like how long you've been with the Black Star Project, but what I remember more importantly is how rapidly you establish yourself as a leader here, right? And just threw yourself into the work, and a spirit of service, a spirit of production. And I think you've continued to exhibit that all the way through, and you continue to do that. I know it's greatly, greatly appreciated. I'm sure it is very under thanked, if I can make that up. But you do it anyway. Where does that spirit of service come from for you personally?
Yeah, I started Black Star in 2019. So I was still, somewhat new to Chicago. I moved here in 2017, never been to Chicago, just really went out on a whim. I was like, okay, let me see what Chicago is about. And, when you start over at a new place, you have to build community.
Yeah.
And as an adult, it is very hard to kind of navigate that. So one of the things that I even did back home is I got involved for things that I was passionate about. I actually started at Black Star as a KLSU teacher. For those who don't know, that's Kimberly Lightfoot Saturday University out in Maywood. And, I was broke, new graduate. Gloria would drive me out there every Saturday, take me back. So Gloria has been really, of course, she is our executive director, but I've just watched her help so many people,
Yep.
including myself.
Yep.
And she pours into all of us to be leaders. Even though she is the leader.
She is the leader.
But you know, she pours into us, and
so selflessly.
Yes.
Never about her. Always about the work. Always about everybody else.
Yes.
Heart of gold. Also a gangster. Like, she is not to be tried. And the first time I saw it, I was like, yo. So I checked somebody. I was like,
yeah.
She was like, don't.
If
I'm
you
from
see
the
it,
I'm from the projects. I was like, oh, yes, she is. Excuse me.
if you see it, it's very rare, but when you see it, you're gonna be shocked. But it will happen. She will go there if it needs.
Philip Jackson was the same way. Relatively small in stature, but I remember the first time I saw him get like angry. And I mean, other than about the issues around the city and, you know, the fights he would take up with, you know, different institutions around Chicago. But one day we had a press conference right out there in the main room where the celebration is going on now. And we were preparing for it back here. And it's a huge press conference. So all the TV networks were here, and Channel 7 and 2 and everything, everybody was here. And we were going out there to do the press conference. And we had planned for it and what everybody's role was and the message that everybody was to convey. And then somehow at the last minute, there ended up being like a dispute between a couple of the presenters about what the message overall was going to be. And Mr. Jackson overheard that. And he's like, what? He's like, no, we're not having this conversation. There was a response other than yes, okay. And it was like, and I saw his face and he was like, I was like, oh snap, he just went to another space. But I think you got to be able to do that as a leader, when you're so passionate about something, when you believe so passionately about the work, and it's literally life or death. When you talk about these young people, we don't have time for that kind of dissension. So Ms. Gloria certainly is of the same ilk. She leads with a pure heart of gold, but fierce.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lindsay, I appreciate you so very, very much for taking the time. I know you don't like to make this about you, but people need to know how important you are to the work that happens here. And sometimes we need to celebrate you. So thank you for taking the time. Please come back on the show sometimes. Like, maybe come down to the station, you know, just hang out a little bit.
Yes. I'll take you up on that offer. We'll talk about the cheesesteaks.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. That is Lindsay. I would tell you her title, but she does everything. So thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Now we get the opportunity to talk to the one and only Deacon Price. Deacon, just before I pulled you aside for this audio, as we're taking a photo, all of the young men, all of the teenage men, the young adult men and older adult men, and Cortez, rightfully so, was acknowledging that as a house you've built, talking about the work that you learned and carried on from the late great Philip Jackson and continue to do. I've talked before about the work that you've done and continue to do with so many young people, but for the sake of this particular question, why is it so important for you to pour into the young men and be the example that you've been for them, be the support that you have been for them on a daily, yearly, generationally basis?
That's a tough question, but I grew up in the village. Grew up without a father. My gym teacher was like a father figure. Knew some guys gang banging. But anyway, just growing up in the projects without a father, I was involved in a mentoring program called Young Life. Brother Dr. John Porter, Africa's dad.
Yeah.
And so that kind of paved the way for me being on the right track and wanting to give back. So graduating from college, came back to Chicago. Started mentoring at my church, Trinity Church, with young black men of honor.
I was going to bring that
I
up.
meant Izutu, coming into manhood. Got an email one day from the Black Star Project. Mr. Jackson was looking for some motivational speakers to go inside the CPS schools. And so I started off 20 plus years doing motivational speaking in the schools. And then one day he said we needed to start a mentoring program for young boys. And so we started the Young Black Men of Honor, working with young guys 8 to 18. And here we are today. And so what Cortez and Zaid and them are doing is very, it's much needed. It's much needed to keep it going. The blueprint of Baba Philip Jackson.
So much more good work happens across the city of Chicago and really across the nation, but across the city of Chicago than bad, yet the bad is always highlighted, right? That's what you hear on the news. That's what you see constantly highlighted. And while I'm not trying to pretend like those things don't exist, how do we also go about balancing the narrative to tell the full picture of the greatness of our communities? We sit here right now in Bronzeville. We know the history of it, what we know, but I think unfortunately that history is kind of fading a little bit in terms of how prominent it is, how much people know it, because the great things aren't told as much as some of the bad things. And how important is it that we continue to take control of our narrative, that we have platforms like here at WVON to be able to tell our own stories, especially in a time when those stories are being wiped away or rewritten?
It's important, very important. We know a lot of times they say the families are the first teachers in the homes. And so mothers and fathers are important. That's why we started the Parent University here. But everything can't be taught in the schools. So we have to pass our heritage and culture and history down to our young people, whether it's in the school, in the home, in the church, in the program. And so here at Black Star, we teach Black History 365, 7 days a week. Anytime we get a chance, we're talking about Black history and how important it is. And here at Black Star, John Johnson, Ebony, they said he started right here in this building, maybe right here in this room, as a paper boy or something of that nature. And so I think if the more our young people knew about their history and the Sankofa, looking back to where they came, and it's important to know your history and how far you've come. And that's what we're doing here at the Black Star Project.
Being able to see it, being able to touch it, to interact with it in a real way. And I think that's where someone like yourself, it's what I try to emulate, the authenticity. They can see that you are, accomplished, and they can see that you are very, very well dressed, specifically this evening, if I might say so myself, very well spoken. But as they get to know you, they can also feel a sense of familiarity, right? You come from where we come from. You sound like us. You carry it like us, in a way that is able to connect. And I think a lot of times we aren't authentic enough with the young people. We are so, and I say this with air quotes, elevated, in that to a way that we aren't honest with them about, who we are, what we've been through, mistakes we've made, things we've overcome. And when you set yourself as so elevated, it seems not only unattainable, but disingenuous or inauthentic. And it's like, well, either you are that great and I can't attain that, or you full of crap anyway. Either way, it kind of gets tuned out. And I think that authenticity matters.
A lot of young guys today say older people just want to tell them what to do and not listening to them. And we've been blessed here at Black Star, even with the triplets starting here at 7 years old. Now they're in college at University of Champaign, majoring in engineering. I have young men that started here at 10 and 12. They're now graduates of HBCUs, working. Some are married, some are incarcerated, one or two incarcerated.
Be honest.
They never lose my number. And so my wife said, why are they calling you? I said, they need prayer. And so I never throw a young person to the side, because it could have been me. I've done some things that I wasn't proud of that could have landed me in jail. And so we never give up on them here at Black Star. And I thank God for Miss Gloria Smith, Philip Jackson's sister, coming back in and opening up the doors and doing all that she does to encourage the young staff that's coming on now. So I'm in a position now where I'm passing the baton on. That's why I'm kind of in the background. And so
there is a old saying, and I lean on it all the time. I've referenced it here on the show a lot, and it is that youth is wasted on the young, right? And it refers to the idea that while you are young, you have so much youthful exuberance and energy and passion, you don't yet have the wisdom which comes through experience, right? It also suggests, the saying does, that by the time you acquire that wisdom through experience, you no longer have the energy and the passion to fight for things that you were once so passionate about. And it creates a necessity to bridge those two unique skill sets to say, okay, well, how do we get the wisdom from older generations and pair it with the youthful exuberance and the energy and the passion of the younger generations? And oftentimes there's a disconnect in between. We are so busy blaming and pointing the finger, and you got older generations and they look at younger generations and they see, failed hopes of generations past. You got younger generations looking up to the older generations and saying, well, y'all dropped the ball on us. You know what I mean? And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But either way, it's not as important as what the solution is. So we have to find ways to marry those skill sets in a way. And I think it's about listening and valuing each other's perspectives. I like to say that two truths don't make a lie.
Exactly.
Right.
Let me share a story.
Yes, sir.
We had the Real Man Read here at Black Star, which I really miss. We were in about 40 different schools, CPS schools, working with scholars 4th to 8th grade. I went to a school, Smith Elementary in 96 in Greenwood.
Yes, sir.
Reading to some first graders. I'm always asked, hey, tell me your name, what's your aspiration, what's your goals? None of these scholars said anything about sports. And that was the first time in my life I've gone into a school and no one mentioned sports. I told the teacher, I'm going to adopt your class. And she said, class, Mr. Price said he was going to adopt y'all. Do you know what that means? And the little girl jumped up. He going to take us all home. I said, I can't take 35 of you all home, but I'll be back. This is the honest God truth. I tell people who want to mentor this story. I went back 2 months later, and a little boy hollered out, Mr. Price came back like he said he was. I was with him in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. I spoke at the 8th grade graduation. I went back last month. This is the 18th year straight that I've been going back. And I still keep in touch with some of those scholars from 1st grade.
That is powerful. One, in the fact that a person that young had already come to expect disappointment and inconsistency, lack of follow through.
Yes.
And then to recognize it and be so excited about it, that's extremely, extremely powerful. I'll wrap this up with you here in a second. I first encountered you, and you don't know this because there's just no real reason to, at Trinity United Church of Christ. And when I actually connected with you here, I was like, that's the brother that I always would see at church. Down front pew, just being you.
Right.
I started coming to Trinity probably like, I have to credit my friend Shanita with this because she introduced me to it. Her family, the Sladden family, grew up there. And this would have had to be, I don't know, 07, 08, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And she started bringing, it was right around the time that Reverend Jeremiah Wright was transitioning and turning over to Pastor Moss.
Okay.
And I remember, the power and the reverence that Reverend Wright had. And I also remember seeing Pastor Moss come through, and I was like, that brother speaks to me, right? And it was at a time when my faith wasn't very strong. For different things I had been through, I was like, yeah, I don't know if this all-powerful being would, just go through that time. I don't think if it was a God, this wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen.
Right.
And as I came back more and more and listened to the two of them and then Pastor Moss, it was like, that speaks to me in a different way. And it reconnected me with my own spirituality. And I've had it ever since. But I just remember seeing you there and then seeing you here. And I was like, oh, that's a brother that walk it like he talk it. You know what I mean? And I think that matters in such a real way. And I admire it. I salute it. And I strive to emulate it, and I just appreciate you, man.
Let me share a 30-second how I got to Trinity.
Yeah.
my family was members of Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
My mom used to always say, when you come to visit Trinity, I'm like, I'm not standing nobody line to get in church.
Right.
Not too many people know that I was going out to Christ Universal Temple, Johnny Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
I was out there 10:30 to noon, I was out, right? My mother had a massive
Trinity
heart
could
attack.
have you in there to 1. You go to 11 o'clock service, like, hey, the football game is about to come on. So I go to the 7:30 service when I
was
can.
the first one out the parking lot. But my mother had a massive heart attack, and I found her at home. And I was doing some drugs at the time. And 2 weeks later, I said, some ministers came to the home that night, and they prayed me out the restroom. I was in there drinking. And 2 weeks later, I went to visit. I said, I'm going to go visit. And Reverend Wright was doing a sermon on Adam, Where Are You? Talking about black men in the church. And I went tumbling down there, hanging over from Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And gave my life to Christ that day.
It's that kind of place, man. It's that kind of place.
So it's been a blessing. Got a connection of brothers. We connected. Jawanza and Jufu. We had a mentoring program called Community of Men. And we still fellowship today. Dr. Jawanza's gone home with the ancestors, but we still fellowship today. The brothers get together. So I'm thankful for that connection, because today I think we need to have a safe space as black men.
You have to.
It's a lot going on with suicide and people just, giving up on life. So
yeah, we had a real good talk about that on Wednesday with the Black Star family. I had joined the men's chorus once before and added my wonderful singing voice,
yes, sir.
To the chorus.
They still need you.
What I appreciated about that most, and I'm absolutely joking about my wonderful singing voice, but I did join the men's chorus. What I appreciated most about it was the fellowship of the brothers, and when we would, get together for rehearsal, and how they just welcomed me in.
Yeah.
And, some of the brothers have been in the chorus for years and years and years, and they just welcomed me in as a part of it. My stay with the chorus wasn't super long because I found that for me personally, I couldn't get what I needed from Sunday out of that. Like I said, at that point, I was like transitioning back into my spirituality. It was so important for me to get what I needed at church every week. It was like a spiritual gas tank. And so I would go through my week, and about Saturday, I'm on empty.
Exactly.
And then on Sunday morning, I get filled back up and it gives me just enough to get through the week. And so as we ministered, through song, I realized I wasn't necessarily getting what I needed. I was trying to do, your part. And so I couldn't stick with that because I still needed to, be filled up in that way. But I really, really appreciated those brothers. It was necessary for me at a great time. So always be grateful for that. And I'll always be grateful for you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate your time, man. Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate all you do, brother.
My pleasure. Sister Pam, I finally got a chance to catch up with you. Thank you for being on the show. More importantly, thank you for the work that you continue to do around here and have done for a very long time. Please tell the listening audience what it is that you most enjoy about doing around here. Not what you do, because that's everything, but what do you most enjoy about your contribution to the Black Star Project?
Yeah, thank you, Herb, for having me. I guess I could say the thing that I love the most about being a part of the Black Star Project is about the camaraderie and the community, the togetherness and unity of the community and each and every family. It's a pleasure to wrap our arms around each and every community member, family member, make them feel safe, loved. Providing radical hospitality is, one of my favorite things here to provide and be involved with as it relates to the Black Star Project, which is a movement.
Absolutely.
It's a movement.
30 years.
Yes.
I love that phrase, radical hospitality. It's something that Juliet talks about all the time, just how everybody who comes to their door is welcome, not only to serve, but to be served.
Exactly.
Not only to follow, but to lead. And I think that's what the late, great Philip Jackson set it up to be. I think you talk to everybody that's here, everybody has a similar origin story, just kind of being here, and then next thing you know, you leading and kind of taking off. I think that's just kind of what it is. What are your feelings about the celebration tonight and the young people and their families and parents that are here?
Oh, I'm overjoyed.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased to celebrate our youth. We had another wonderful semester, uh, and our youth were so engaged
Mhm.
and just really flourishing in their gifts.
Yeah.
We have a lot of leaders here, and Miss Gloria, God bless her.
Seriously.
That's the thing about a leader. A true leader creates leaders.
Yep.
You know, they're not trying to have
No,
followers.
it's not
You
about that.
know,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, you know, we just want to stay mission focused and continue on to another 30 years.
Absolutely. And we shall. I just want to thank you. I know you rushed your way back to Chicago after getting down to celebrate your grandbaby.
Yes, my grandson. Yeah, he was in his first grade performance,
Hmm.
and well, I think I was the loudest
And that's
grandparent
okay.
in the room.
And
But
that's
hey,
okay.
yeah, nobody gave me any flack, but it was wonderful.
Yeah.
He attends the School of the Arts, and you know, again, flourishing in his gifts.
He is following in your footsteps, flourishing in your gifts. Thank you so much, Pam. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Herb. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful evening it's been here at the Black Star Project as we have our end of semester celebration. I want to say thank you to all the participants, all the youth scholars, all the parents, all the families, certainly all of the program directors and volunteers and the whole entire team at the Black Star Project. Thank you guys for joining us and being here on the show today. We greatly, greatly appreciate you. We got to get out of here. We got to make way for the one and only King Salim Muwakil with the most astute listening audience in radio. As much as ever, we say thank you to the late, great Philip Jackson. Thank you to Juliet Scott. Thank you to the entire Black Star Project family, especially those who were able to join the program this evening. For Juliet Scott, for Matt doing all the hard work behind the glass, my name is Herb Howard. You all have an amazing evening.